Damn, son, where'd you find this?
People don't be offended by the truth. They be offended because you called out the truth. Simple as that. They don't want to hear any other narrative that makes them look bad.
One thing I can't stand at this big grown age is somebody who act like cause and effect does not exist. Like, yes, your actions caused this outcome. Yes, what you did lit the match. Like, why are you surprised and playing victim?
Guys, Chico, they've never lied.
That's how you know somebody doesn't respect you. They listen to reply, not to be understood. They cut you off. They minimize what actually matters to you. They laugh at your boundaries, and then they call you sensitive when you try to hold the line. They show up late. They cancel last minute, forget the things you've told them, because in their world, your time, your energy, even your voice aren't a priority. They're just an option. You see, there are two kinds of people. Those who adjust when they realize they've actually hurt you, and those who expect you to adjust so they don't have to change. You don't need to be disrespected loudly to be disrespected deeply. Sometimes you'll see it. It's just in their tone, in their patterns, in the silence after you're known. Respect isn't what they say when they're watching. It's how they act when they think you'll tolerate it.
Yo, 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 yo. What's good? What's good? What's good? Peace, blessings, glory, praise, and honor to the Most High. Shout outs to my poets, writers, content creators. Shout outs to the people in the building. Glad you could be here. Get comfortable, grab you something to drink, something to snack on. You see the title. I got a clip. Coaches in the building. We're gonna chop it up. Not gonna drag this out. What up? What up? What up?
Yo, what up, man? What's good? Well, I see you looking sharp tonight. What's up, man?
Trying to keep up with you, man. Trying to keep up. That's all. That's all. I ain't here yet, but right, I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
I ain't got none of that shit at the top either, so it evens out.
So, I got you. I got you. The man almost got robbed on Christmas morning. He was trying to have him some fun, and it didn't go the way that he expected it. For the people who not familiar with the story, let me bring this up on the big screen. Switch Arcana. I see you, brother. Salutes to you, sir. Make sure y'all go follow him. If you need some music, hit him up for sure. Bro got a nice catalog over there. All right. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and play this clip, man. Do me a solid, like, share, repost, let the people know we on. Oh, there she is. All right. I'm glad you pulled up right before I played the clip. Sid, what's up?
Not much, just trying to figure out how to set up the dog and the kids so people aren't doing crazy things during the podcast.
Got you. I got you. I know you got a lot of emotion over there. So, real quick too, before I played the video, man. My thoughts and prayers with Zay, man. He got the flu right now. So, yeah. I told him, rest up, man. We'll be here when you come back. You know what I'm saying? Just take care of yourself. But I'm gonna play this clip just in case you ain't familiar. The brother, he tried to have him some extracurricular activities over the holidays, and the that almost went completely south for him. So I'm gonna run this clip and we're gonna chop it up.
They were running back and forth in my front yard, trying to figure out how they could penetrate or try to make their arrangements to get inside my house. I had invited a lady friend to come to my residence and spend some time with me, and we would listen to music, watching videos, and having a few drinks.
But he says that woman and another were plotting to rob him the whole time. Watch as the women go in and out of the home over and over. Then at least 3 men arrive at the door. One woman walks out. She then tells them to go away.
I was getting alerts from my phone that they were going in at my door, and I realized that they were trying to rob me.
The 2 women were arrested, but the men are still on the run.
They were running back and forth in my front yard, trying to figure out how they could penetrate or try to make their arrangements to get inside my house. I had invited
Oh, there it is. Sorry, I almost played the whole thing over again. Yeah. Buddy thought he was gonna have him a nice little situation going on, and they didn't look at him like the lick that he was expecting. So my initial thoughts, Ring cameras, probably one of the best investments you could ever have. Make sure you get cameras, front door, side of the house, all that. He's very fortunate. Secondly, I'm glad nobody was hurt, because that could have completely gone south. Those young ladies could have gotten caught in crossfire. Those gentlemen could have gotten caught in some crossfire. He would have had every right, in my opinion, to let off on everybody, because quite frankly, I would have let off on everybody. But we got an ending where they were apprehended. Unfortunately, they haven't been caught yet. Initial thoughts on the video. Let's start with you.
One, this is the perfect example of why you shouldn't let just anyone in your house. You should definitely know the people before and fully trust them before you allow people to come into your house. It's very foolhardy to allow strangers on your property if you don't know them, because I mean, maybe they're not planning on robbing you, but they could still have unruly behavior, cause property destruction. There's all sorts of situations with squatters. Like, there's so many different things that can happen with people that you don't know. So yeah, don't just invite anyone onto your property. You should vet them, make sure you know them, make sure you trust them. And honestly, don't even tell people where you live. Don't even give people your address unless they absolutely need to know it. People should not have free access to your information. And as you said, getting those security cameras can definitely be very important. Especially, I mean, of course, it doesn't matter where you are, but especially if you're in a more rural location, it can sometimes save your life. I've heard of situations like that, especially the ones that are able to like alert authorities for you if it detects something. Those are more advanced systems, but just any sort of system that can film the property, show people who are coming onto your property that are doing whatever wrong that they're doing, have that available to you, which will make it much easier for the authorities to figure out who did this. But yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Guess that wasn't the white elephant gift he was expecting to give away. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just interested to see what else you about to pull out the hat, man. That was an interesting story.
What this boiled down to is you got a older man trying to get some play with younger women. The general consensus is you wouldn't have been in that situation if you would have stuck to your age group. That's what a lot of people are saying. Oh, old man being a pervert, grooming and trying to prey on younger women, and you got what you asked for. And that leads me to a couple of questions I got, but I'm going to say for the record, it wouldn't have mattered if they were his age. It wouldn't have mattered if they were 18. That is a crime. It doesn't matter how you look at it. What they did was essentially put who knows how many people's lives at risk, because he could have had kids in that house. He could have had his family, cousins, his mom in there. They sized them up. They planned to do what they were going to do. It didn't work out the way they wanted to. And no matter if you think that they were too young for him or whatever the case may be, wrong is wrong. So, first question, does age have any factor in what happened in this situation? Was he wrong for A, pursuing someone younger than him, and B, does that make it right?
I don't know how old anybody was in the video, but I don't think it matters. You still got people that are around his age or at his age or older than him that still live and conduct themselves within the same manner. I mean, he just got lined up, man, by some people. People that happens a lot of times in these neighborhoods. So it depends on what type of sites you're searching on. Just trying to put people in a box, saying just because they're young that they do things like that. It just use discernment, use better judgment. As far as for everybody's already said, if you're bringing people to your house, but definitely use better judgment and discernment in people that you're associating with, especially bringing around your family.
In regard to the age thing, I don't think it necessarily matters, because there could still be people that are older that are still willing, or because of life situations, pressured to commit crimes, even if they are older. Well, it is statistically more likely that younger people tend to be, or with theft, the average age is in mid-20s to early 30s, but there's still a lot of circumstances that will push older adults to theft as well. And oftentimes, as we saw in this one, it's not always the person that shows up is going to be the one that does the theft. The person, a lot of the time with multiple people involved in theft, they send one or two people to scout out the location first to let the guard down of that owner of the property, and then they send in the next people who are there to actually do the theft. So he could have met up with an older lady and she was still working with younger people that were going to break in. So I don't really think that the age of his choice would have really made a difference, because any age group is really capable of committing crimes if they're desperate enough. Especially, I don't really know what these people's situation are, but I know with drug addictions that very frequently, if people are really trying to get a hold of drugs but can't afford them, theft is often an option that they turn to get a hold of more drugs. And people like that can be in their 50s, 60s sometimes. So I don't think the age really would have mattered. I just think it was foolish of him in general to bring random women that he did not know into his house. And as you said, and as Squish said, I hope to God he did not have family members in that house, because that would be stupid. And also kind of tactless. Like, you're really going to try and get some when your family's in the next room with, oh God, no, thank you.
Man, that was Keisha and Ebony from up the street. That's what it come like. It come off like he knew of them, or one of them specifically. Like, and I hate to say it because it's so fucked up that we have them stereotypes, but you do have those specific people who they move a certain type of way and they got a reputation, and your homeboy be like, man, call up such and such. Hey, they'll take care of you or something. And your perverted ass be thinking you about to get the same play as the next person whole time. She's used to doing this type of stuff. They looked at you, they say, man, this old ass overweight dude think he about to get something from off of me. He done lost this. And they played it. They played it to a T. Period. I can imagine the conversation that they had with the gentleman that was there. Man, this old ass man over here, man. Yeah, he think I'm about to, well, we gonna do this and we gonna do that. And yeah, whole time, fortunately for him, he has at least some common sense that make sure all of his cameras work. And his spidey senses was up. Nah, it didn't seem like he really knew her. He knew of her, and the thing is, he looked at her like she was an opportunity, and she might have given him the impression that she had the same idea that he did, but nah, that's not the case here. So to me, it has nothing to do with age, but maturity is definitely lacking on both sides. Because I mean, bro, I'm gonna be as blunt as I possibly can, but I'm gonna try to be very tactful with this. Why not just pay for it? Just go ahead and get you a quality lay. At least then you getting your bang for your buck, literally and figuratively. You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to get an easy come up on somebody that you think is just soft and they ain't street smart. Come on, man.
I mean, he might have paid for it. You don't know. Again, that's probably part of the lineup, unless you're talking about in excess of as far as for getting a hotel room, the secure location and all that type of stuff. And I'm not judging, but looking at the video, I'm gonna say that he might not have been able to, there's levels to certain things. So perhaps his gold card and his platinum card wasn't paid up to standards, so that was probably the level of what he can afford. So, it might be safe to say that.
And that's what I'm good.
I was gonna say, I'm not gonna lie, I did think that. I was like, so what exactly was the arrangement? Was it supposed to be him and the girl? And then she was like, oh, I'm gonna bring my friend. I'm like, dude, did you think this was gonna be some like experience? Like, what? I can't even.
You're paying for the fantasy.
Yeah.
But this is where a lot of these dudes be getting set up, robbed, killed, and everything because they be horny, man. And you treat people like they are second fiddle citizens or like they're subhuman, you might not like the results you're going to get out of it. Like,
where'd you get the subhuman part from?
He looked at her like he could have sex with her, probably smoke some weed with her, drink a little bit with her, and then he didn't really have much of a objectify. He didn't really see much value in her beyond that exchange that he thought he was going to get. That's what I mean by that. Because if he thought that she was worth anything more than just that, then I think he would have chosen a different level of woman. Because I don't think a grown woman is just coming over for like unless it's that arrangement. But ain't no grown woman coming to your house just to smash and dash.
I bet you there was a high degree of manipulation on their end, though, with some level of enticement, trying to convince him, like, oh yeah, I like you're, you know how women are, like, you're so cute, oh, you're like fawning all over him and making him feel like he was super special and unique and that he was the one. And like they use compliments and all sorts of like emotional manipulation to make him think that like they were super into him and they wanted to see him and wanted to be with him. And so I think his head was in the clouds. Like, I just think he thought, oh my God, I got so lucky. Like, there's these ladies that are into older men and they want to be with me. Like, they think I'm so great. And then that it was all a ploy. It was all just a plan to get into the house, because I know people, theft, burglars, they'll target people that are older because they assume they're going to have more money. They're going to have more collectibles. They're going to have alcohol and expensive things. And so that's probably what they were doing, is they were really like, playing him up and really making him feel like he was this like super amazing person and that he was chosen. And so he fell over head over heels for these women and all of their deceit.
Man, if you ain't had a compliment in 5 years and then someone out of the blue just start kissing up to you, man, you better run. That's crazy. He don't look, and I ain't trying to be mean or nothing, but bro, you don't look like you've been hitting the gym or you that type of, you know what I'm saying? Like,
call me anxious, I'd be suspicious. I'd be like, why me? No, I'm cool. You can go find somebody else that fits the bill, but I don't believe you.
Exactly. So I mean, it's like, bro, you kind of, all right. This is my point. You went into this with the idea that you was about to have your good time, and you know that's cool. But so that day, now you don't really know these people, and you bring them into your proximity. You don't know what type of doors you're opening. And I think that's where we need to be a little more cautious about the type of people we entertain. If you want to go out here and do that, I would rather you go ahead and take you a check and get you a room, whatever. I mean, that's your space. There's plenty of outsources where you could get online and you can find something that's going to be contractual. You going off of like this old way of driving around your neighborhood, and you see somebody walking and you like what, and you just pick them up and you go to an alley. Nah, no. What we was talking about earlier, things are advancing. You can use an app. Get on the app, hotline, the internet. They're cleaner. It's most likely they have their test results available to you, so you protect yourself and them, and you can facilitate a healthier situation where you meet up. It's mutual. You don't have to really worry about this right here. But I personally, I never found the desire for. I just didn't get it. Just get in a relationship or get married. If you like, if you really want to spend $200-$300. Well, hold on, let me see something. What I wanted to ask was, does age dictate the level of maturity in dating? So here we are. I don't know exactly how old they are. I know he's much older than her, but I'm going to go on a limb and say you could have been 40 years old, 50 years old, and still been on the receiving end of someone trying to rob you. I don't think it would have made a difference either way, but his business is his business, right? So does that play a factor at all? The age limit or lack thereof, does that make a difference in the outcome of this?
I would say that could be yes and no. The fact that you're older, you could be hip to some of the ways, the scams and things that people got over back in the days. But obviously now, as we talked about, earlier, times have changed, and there's new scams out there. So that age gap right there can put you out of date, out of context with the newer scams, i.e., the young lady's going inside the house, and then it seems like the young men showed up a little too early, kind of foiled the plot on themselves. But so that's where the age can be both beneficial and detrimental to both, because by them being young, not knowing how to properly pull off the scam, and then by him being old, not being up to date with the newer scams, so he almost got duped. But then he was still, wise enough to understand something was going on because his alarms kept going off. So it looks like it was a blend of both, a little of the new and a little of the old. The new not knowing how to properly execute the scam, and the old kind of rumbling, fumbling, stumbling, and picking up on the scam. So.
Should he know better? I feel like he should know better. At that age, you should be moving way different. Like if I'm in his shoes, I am getting high quality. I keep going back to that. I am going to get high quality. I am not going to my neighborhood Stacy and blah 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 to get my rocks off. I want to make sure I'm getting what I paid for, and I want to make sure I'm having a good time. I don't want no Pookies and Ray Rays tied in or connected to my business dealings. I want to see paperwork. I want to know that when we lock in, everything is a part of a schedule. We have a routine. I got my feng shui. You come, go, we exchange, we and cool. I'm not risk, but you too old. You too old. I personally think you should be married, but that's just me. At that age, you should already be married, have kids. If you don't already have kids and you're divorced, but tricking at 60, 70 years old is crazy. And I'm just assuming. I ain't saying he's actually 60, but being that old and still out here moving like that, it's your prerogative, but it's like, and did anybody see a issue with being 70, 80 years old, still entertaining sex work?
You put an age restriction on having sex, man.
I mean,
dude.
it's like paying for it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
there are ways to do it safely, regardless of how old you are. So I think it matters more what avenues you're taking to do so, because there are some methods that are more safe. The women are more vetted. They're more. This is fresh in my mind because I just watched this documentary on the only female-owned brothel in the United States in Las Vegas, and one of their regular clients was like 79 or something like that, and his wife had died like 20 years before, and he was a very regular client. But all the women in there have to do regular testing. They have to undergo like the ladies that own the joint have them go through like therapy and all sorts of other stuff to like make sure that their health is up to date and whatnot. They have to do drug
testing like professionals.
Yeah, so like there are ways to acquire stuff like that in a more safe manner than just, hey, lady on the street, here's some money, you want to come over?
Right.
So I don't think it matters what your age is, as long as you're taking the proper precautions when you're seeking out this form of love.
Yeah, definitely no age restriction on it, man. It's people out there living life, man. People don't stop living just because they get to a certain age, and people like what they like. You know what I'm saying? So if that man likes sex and you like cookies, then enjoy your cookies, and he's gonna enjoy his version of cookies being sex. So, and that's Hugh Hefner is a prime example. I mean, among other people, but as long as nobody's getting hurt in the process, they're following the procedures, and everybody's being taken care of, and it definitely should be no issues with that.
One thing that he did completely wrong in this whole situation was get somebody off the street that he wasn't familiar with. Also, you brought them to your spot. That's a no-no. I don't even know where they live at, or how long the setup was. When did they plan this out? Did they talk a week before? Did they talk earlier that day? It just looked like they spoke that day, because the way that happened, they coming in. How are you coming in and out of my house and I don't know? How are you bringing somebody extra and we didn't talk about that? Immediately when I would have noticed that, like when he said I kept seeing or my alarm was going off, I would have already been called in. This was just sloppy overall. And I agree, there's no age limit. I'm not knocking that, but you can't really put yourself in this type of position and then completely be mad at them. You don't know them. And you wasn't using your brain. So now what you just did, you got two men who hasn't been caught yet. They know where you live. They were covered up so they could easily come back, or so they could survey your movements moving forward. They just put you in a situation that I don't know if you're thinking about, moving forward. If you're him, the girls are caught, but you still got these two dudes that's out here free. How do you moving forward?
I just have to put this one out there. I've been trying to see if I can find how old these women are. But I found a comment somebody made on Facebook that they're like, this is why you don't take in stray kitties off the street.
I ain't got nothing to do with that. You know how the comment section is. They undefeated with their remarks. Them ladies ain't got no type of respect for themselves. You just put yourself in prison because you thought that you were about to get an easy come up. You didn't have no real regard for that man's life, because if they would have killed him, it would have been a wrap. There's no coming back from that. So you're really willing to risk your freedom for a couple of dollars? Again, I asked the question. They in jail now. The guys are still free. You're the homeowner. Do you just go on with the rest of your life, not really worried about these two dudes knowing where you live at? You don't know what they look like. They could come back at any given moment.
There's actually 4 of them.
4?
4 guys. Yeah. He also did say that his family does live there. So I'm like, cool. And those guys have the potential of being upset that those ladies got arrested, that their whole thing got messed up. And I know it doesn't happen super often. Hopefully they get caught before then, but like retaliatory type behavior as well could be a risk that he's facing now because they know where he lives now.
Exactly. So, Coach, I'm asking you the same question. You, him. I thought it was 2, but apparently it's 4. How do you go forward with this?
Hey, I mean, hopefully he assesses the situation, and at least educate the people that was in the house whose gifts were almost stolen, what happened, and the safety measures of what can potentially happen in the future. But hopefully nothing's happened since then. I don't know when this video was released, but hopefully, I'm sure those girls were probably released. They didn't actually take anything. They were authorized to be in the home, one of them at least. So probably a trespassing charge or something like that. Who knows? But hopefully it's just something simple as that, and then they just keep it moving. But you know how these younger individuals are nowadays. They've killed people for less. So
bringing folks to your house and you got family in there is crazy. You can't be that irresponsible. I don't know, like what you gonna say to them? Oh, I had some ladies over and I was trying to, clap some cheeks and it didn't go the way I thought it was. They tried to rob us, but don't worry. They got the 2 women, and the other guys are gone. What type of conversation are you going to have with your loved ones after that? Or do you, because you got to say something, or are you just going to stay quiet, not speak a single word to nobody, and have them just blindly coming in and out of that property, knowing that there's likelihood that someone could be watching everybody? That's just unacceptable. That's dastardly. That's dirty. That's foul. That's why I said the level of immaturity here is just astonishing to me. Take that bullshit somewhere else. You don't crap where you eat. That should not be in your residence. I would never bring a stranger into my spot. And I got kids and stuff here. Then you can't change it. You can't stop them from doing it. That's exactly what they're for. And my only message to people who want to do this type of stuff, be more smart. Because my thing is, when he made these arrangements, did he make sure that none of his folks were there? Did he just plan on having these women or that woman in the house while everybody was away? He thought he was going to get his rocks off. They were going to leave. Even let's say it went as planned. That's still trifling as hell. You just did that that's almost like having sex with somebody else in your marital bed. Nah, bro, bogus for that. And I'm looking at it like, damn, you kind of asked for this, bro. Like that's kind of like some dirt bullshit. Because you could have just taken that elsewhere, but you decided to disrespect the family home. Yeah, you asking for karma to come, but I hope y'all learn a lesson moving forward with this. Please take your indiscretions away from the house, because y'all be caught. Like, I don't know if he's a cheater. I don't know if he's single. I don't know none of that. Take your indiscretions away from your family. Don't be having people involved in stuff. Do your dirt elsewhere. Simple as that. There's women just like her. They're looking for a come up. They don't want you the way you think they do. Yeah, I gotta do better. Just if you're gonna do it, just spend the money for it. Stop being cheap. That's it. That's all. On Christmas morning is mean. You ain't had no control. You couldn't wait until New Year's. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Any final thoughts? Any final words before we close out?
I just wanted to add in, even if you're engaging with the person for something other than those types of purposes, you still have to be wary. Even when you hire somebody to do yard work for you, hire somebody to be a cleaner in your house, hire somebody to move something from your house, if you're involving somebody that you don't know with your coming onto your property, especially if they have to enter your house, you need to make sure that you fully know who this person is. You should not be hiring random people off Craigslist unless you genuinely know this person. And even then, you probably don't even need to go through Craigslist if you already know them. But anyway, you should not be hiring random people off the internet to do things for you. You need to vet your sources, look into the company, look at their reputation, what people have said about them. And again, don't just find random people off the street, off the internet, and be like, oh yeah, you seem nice, so I'm going to trust you. Because a lot of people can pose as a lot of different things just to try and break in. People have posed as Amazon package delivery people and have broken in. People have posed as, oh, I'm just here to measure your property line. Oh, I'm just here to check your trees. Oh, I'm with the PG&E company to check the power lines. You need to make sure that you check every person who's trying to come into your yard, into your home, because they may not be who they are saying that they are. So no matter what purpose the person is, whether it's a friend, for business, for whatever, you have to do your research first before you let them in. And do not be afraid, if you're a homeowner, to say, I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with what's happening right now. You need to have your manager contact me, and then we can arrange something. Because if you even let them look, that's all they need. Because oftentimes that's what they do. They see where your windows, where your doors. They might try and figure out, like, how do they lock their doors? Do they have pets? There's a lot of things that they're trying to figure out to know if you're going to be somebody that they can easily break in. So it's really important to not just let anyone in. And again, check everyone who comes in. If you don't recognize them, if you haven't had a notice from the city saying that they're going to do these things, check, ask, be like, hey, I'm going to call your business first and make sure this is what you're actually supposed to be doing. Because even if they aren't planning on robbing your house, it could still save you money. Because what if they're at the wrong house? Like, what if they're not supposed to be at that location or whatnot? Like, the things happen all the time. So just be extremely wary about letting anyone onto your property. And then, as we've said earlier, make sure that you have some sort of security measures to protect your home, to have evidence if something does go wrong, because that can help you, whether it's something as bad as a break-in or an attack or something like that. But even as simple as a dispute with a neighbor, it can be very useful just having those systems available to you to access for police or for other purposes that they might be needed for. So yeah, don't just trust anyone. We live in a crazy world now. And a lot of people, granted, not everyone is going to be mean or crazy or whatever, but you really don't want to make the mistake of trusting the wrong person.
Well said.
And on that note, we sign off. I hope you guys got something out of this discussion this evening. I thank you both for being here this evening. Shout outs to the chats. Appreciate y'all. We will be back tomorrow. Tap in. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And I get back to the lab. Do me a solid before you go, if you don't mind.
What's the goddamn button?
Peace.
Have a good night, guys. Don't let anyone in.